I like your gloves better.
What does it?
Fitting.
Well, how about your pair?
Okay.
Let me get everybody get it dirty. I'm talking while we already live.
You should give them a couple minutes to come into the room. Yep. Hey, y'all, it's Nicole from Divine Creations from Divine Plant Life / Divine Creations and my sister Yolanda.
Alright.
From Divine Plant Life, okay? So today, first of all, we want to welcome you in. Welcome on this Sunday.
The names on that.
I know, I can't either.
I'm sorry, I'm looking like I wear glasses at KC, but I want to say hello to everybody live.
My eyes bad.
I see a coveted twin and somebody named Aaliyah, something like that. Counting to my glasses, not my heart.
Right.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us on Divine Plant Life this week. We're doing live at Nicole's house this week. A couple of weeks we was at my house. And so she thought it was a great idea for us to go live at the same time repot her plants. Isn't that so convenient?
So smart.
It's so convenient. So we're gonna actually do some potting, repotting some plants. I'm gonna give you a combination of soil mixture that I use for certain plants depending on what they are. It's not absolute. You can look them up online as well, as far as the combination of soil to perlite and chunky soil and things that we're going to use as a mixture to make our own potting soil. And actually, when we're doing this, we're going to spell out, the type of plant that we're potting as well, so you'll be aware, because not all plants can take the same type of soil, and some require more chunky soil, some require a little more density. And then this is the other thing that people don't realize is that if you are a bad plant mama or papa, you should consider more soil than chunkiness, because it retains more if you're not potting or watering as frequent as you should, to the point it's drying out and it's dying. So for a perfect example, me, I'm not that great with lily plants because they require watering more frequently. And so I would not use this chunkier mixture of potting soil for mine, because I would need it to retain the moisture a little longer by absorbing the nutrients from the soil. Okay? Anything you got to say?
Let's go.
She's just trying to put me to work for free, y'all. That's what this is about. Putting me to work for free. You don't know it's coming back on someday.
It always do.
It always
do.
We're not cleaning, so don't.
We want to talk about what we're potting first.
So, let's just show them some of the things that she has. So for perfect example, you can propagate in almost anything. And she's been propagating her plants in just some water and a clear pot.
Clear glass
container. Why is it good to pot in a clear glass container? Propagating.
Because the sunlight can get through.
The sunlight can get through. It actually reflects more.
You can see if your roots are rotted or
you can pay attention to what's going on with your rooting system, your plant, to ensure that it is actually not just getting mushy and dying, and want to change the water and what's going on. But mainly if your piece of plant, which is the stem or the petal of the plant, all that is in the soil, in the water, you want to put it close to the window so it can absorb the light as well, reflective. So it's really good. It helps the roots to grow faster.
Sure, is that in there? Hey, Lady Diva Washington is in there.
I see, look. Lataya Washington. Oh, okay.
Lady Diva.
Okay.
Dominique, which is Pooh, she over here too.
Okay. So that's why it's good and helpful to use this type of a container. Most people do use a glass container when they're propagating. Just trying to reconnect.
Disconnected. Okay, so we're just gonna show you a few plants that some of are redundant. So if you see them sitting here and you don't see us pick it up, it's because there's multiples of that plant in here. So one of the most easiest and frequently propagated plants there are the pothos and the what's the other one? The pothos and the
What you got?
philodendron.
Oh, okay.
Philodendron. So this is a pothos, and as you can see, the roots are good and ready to go.
It's
Got
actually
a little mush there. There we go. Okay.
Oh, this is not a marbleized.
This one's not.
Okay.
And she needed some dust, and as I see.
Okay, so one of the things is when you take a plant out of water that's been in water, don't know how long it's been sitting in water, when the last water changed. But one of the things that most of y'all plant lovers know, and you do it your own way. But one of the things that for novice in planting and repotting and propagating, if you're propagating, you really not a novice. But if someone gave you a snippet plant and said, hey, here's a piece of plant, you want to grow it, and you go, okay, I'm gonna try it. And you go on YouTube, you watch all these people with these gorgeous plants and these big plants, and you say, I'm gonna try it. You take all this advice from YouTube and people like us online, and you stick it in water. Make sure you watch the whole tutorial. Make sure you pay attention to all details before you just stick it in water, because two or three things. You gotta think about the type of water, what kind of water you're putting it in, because I made a mistake at one time, and I would just stick it in any kind of water, which my husband buys. What's kind of water you drink all the time? Spring water. And I had some bottles. I didn't drink spring water at the time, so I was like, oh, I'm using spring water, and I put it in the pot, put the plant in there. Thing died on me. Why? Because spring water had a lot of minerals in it. Has its own minerals in it. And therefore, the minerals was too harsh for the plant.
Hey, Marie.
And so, therefore, it did not take. All it did was mush up at the bottoms, got wet, mushy, and died off. Now, God is so good to where, I was able to clip it and then realize it. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the hellos.
We appreciate y'all.
And so, like Nicole said, she has a pothos here. As you can see, look at this. These pothos leaves are beautiful. They're long and green. So that means they're getting definitely the sun that they need wherever she has them planted huge. We do got a couple of spots here. Don't be dismayed. Don't be heartbroken. It happens. When it's spots like that, usually it's from infrequency of water or water contaminated. So she's put it in water. It can't be overwatering because it's sitting in water. So that means the water is contaminated in some form or fashion. And that's what I was just explaining. That's explaining the minerals, right? Mm-hmm. So that's when it's harsh on them. But as you can see, got new pieces here. All these light pieces are new. The nodes are consistent. Plant. It's a plant on every node. Yeah. Except this one, but for the most part, it's a plant on every node, right? So, this is the stem, this is the pedestal, and this is the stem. These are called the pedestals. And so when you got pedestals coming out of every node, that means pretty much that these nodes are pushing up. That means they're healthy. But when they push up like this, come green and get bigger, then she got them in the correct lighting. She has them in a perfect lighting setting, okay?
Hey, Miss Sonia.
So, yeah.
Oh, get picked it. Hey, get picked it.
So, so this is one of the plants we're going to repot.
We have a couple of pothos we're going to do.
The roots. The roots is ready. These are roots. Now, another thing that I want to explain to you, is there's first there's primary and then there's secondary roots. If your plant is at secondary roots, it's ready to be potted. If it's at primary roots, it may need to be put back in water a long time. Primary root is this big, thick root here. This thick one here. And then secondaries are those little whiny ones that's coming off the sides. So you have your primary, which are usually the thick ones. And then you have the ones that stems out. Those are your secondary roots. When your plant is pushing out secondary roots, it's ready to be potted in dirt. Okay? The thing about it is plants that's been sitting for so long that they got secondary roots, they got to stay wet for a while in the soil. So people are like, oh, you ain't supposed to have your soil wet. If it's coming out of water, hydroponics, right? That's what this process is, hydroponics, when you're sticking the plant in there. Now this plant can stay in water forever. As long as you provide any nutrients, anything, and it can stay in the clear glass and grow just without soil.
Yep.
But however, since we want to put it in dirt and let it grow into some dirt or some soil, I don't like saying dirt because people think you go outside and get dirt, but some soil, we got to keep it moist. Okay. The other thing is we want to pay attention to the rooting system is when we take it out of the water, we want to smell it, right? We want to make sure it smells like plant, just like fresh greenery, right? If you smell anything, kind of like, that make my nose turn up. It's a little stinky. That means that it's been sitting and soaking to the point where it's rotted. A plant can get root rotted in water. So you want to make sure. They always say check it, test it. You could just squeeze it. You feel any mushy, right? You see any dark spots.
Like these that I just took off. These little black mushy pieces with roots that was in the water too long, and they turned black, and I had to pull them off.
You pull them off where?
Off of here.
Oh, okay. So
now, I'm not sure if it was just in the water.
Okay.
And if it was on another plant, because see these got a little mush in it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so you really want to look at it to make sure, because what happens, you just want to, so we're going to do maybe a tad of snipping. I don't even see from the smell, and she removing it. See, I thought sure she moved it from there because it's white. No. That's what might have dropped from, because it's white. Because usually if you remove the black, it has a white, real white.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's nothing, there's nothing, here that I see that it would cause concern for to keeping it from growing, and just repotting it. We could snip some of the roots, but there's no need to.
Okay. And then the next plant we have.
Now, if some people will take a little alcohol spray, like they had mist spray or alcohol, and spray on the roots a little bit to kill anything, or peroxide. I would never advise alcohol. I would say peroxide. Peroxide is harmless, but you can't do alcohol because they both are, as long as it's 70%, not a 90% alcohol.
Peroxide down there.
Yeah, I brought alcohol for my blade.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one of the pots that we're gonna do. Plants we're gonna do.
Okay, one of these.
This is a Monstera deliciosa. And we know that because of the striations, the holes, like Swiss cheese, right? So, that's what that is. That's how we know that's that. It's got some stalks body.
Yeah.
This actually only has primary, but, secondary. See, here's the main, and it's the secondary.
Yeah.
It's only pushing out of one node. So my concern here, once I put this, I might have to snip this end here. And it's blackening here anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna snip this end here. So I'm gonna clip here, this node here, up to here. Okay. So this is gonna be buried, this is gonna be buried, and that's gonna sit on top, right? So we're gonna at least get this buried, and that's sit on top.
Yeah.
And then these I'm gonna clip just for the sake of one, this is kind of, don't smell, but it's a little black on that end. And it's not pushing out anything. Right. And this is the end that's been sitting in water. So we're going to just try that and come back. This one fooled me. This is a Duncane. This is actually a Deathbiakia montana. Monstria.
Let me show it to them so I can see the strangulations in it.
The variations. Variations is the color of mix and match. So when you have like marble or, white and green, that's the variations. So that's a variant. This one actually only has 2 primary. This being a Deathbiakia, you find with 2 primary. We would prefer more root on this. We're pulling off still black stuff. It's a little mushy down there, not bad. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might need to sit. Only because if we plant it, it don't have enough nodes. So if we sit it here, 1, 2, the soil's gonna cover here. We're gonna put it in a very tiny pot, right? So So, what y'all think? I think that I should hold off, put in some more root system. Y'all let us know. Y'all plant people, see what I'm working with. Dottie online, she'll tell me for sure. Okay, so let's think about that one.
Okay, yours.
Okay, this one, well, I gotta remember the name of this one. This one I just got. Ain't she a beauty? Ain't she a beauty? Ain't she a beauty? Her last name and our surname. Oh my goodness, I can't think of the name of this plant because I just got it. And this is what happens when you buy plants online and you just like, I love it, don't know nothing about it.
Oh, that's the one come from offline.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is one I got offline. And when I got it, one of the first things we do when we get a plant from anywhere, it's been sitting up separated. I sprayed it.
Tree, ain't it?
Nope, it's not a rubber tree.
It's not.
Nope, I'm gonna tell you. Oh, it's on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's start with an A.
Allocatia?
No.
Okay.
That other plant is alocasia. I'm sorry. I can't think of the name of the plant, but I'll put a post later. But man, I can't. It's right there, but I can't think of it. So yeah, when I got it, I did my inspections like I generally would do. Look at that. Look at that. Is that not the prettiest thing you ever saw? I mean, people might not think that, but plant lovers love it. Beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Soil is beautiful.
White.
Yeah.
Roots. It's gorgeous.
But it came just like this.
It definitely
sitting
needs to
on
be
top.
repotted.
Like it's already then choked out. Now the thing about this plant, which I did research, and you see it, it's the red leaf, so it grows in kind of reddish, right? It grows in kind of reddish, and then what did you say the plant was?
Alocasia.
It's there. It hit my tongue again. But it comes in kind of reddish and light, and then it gets its greenery, right? So, when I first got it, I was like, it's light. It's going to die on me. But then I looked it up. But I did my inspection, looked for pests, looked for bugs. I sprayed it down, wiped it down, looked at the roots, looked at the soil. This soil is probably 90% peat moss.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a lot of dirt. There's a lot of peat moss and perlite in here, as you can see. So I'm gonna do the same combination because hey,
It's been working.
it's been working. So that's another plant we're gonna do. That's going home with me. They ain't get sold nowhere.
Monster.
Okay, and then we have the Monstera,
The
big baby,
monster.
big baby here, which actually got some peace coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Pretty
Look
and white.
at that! Look at those roots! Look at those roots! I mean, this is just a beautiful plant. It's got some dead pieces, but it's not affecting any roots. It's just the blackening of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Just means water need, and you probably need to get a little rinsing. But look at those roots.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, these are good. These are good to go. And so they're happy roots. And so we're gonna plant this Monstera now. I did bring a stick for this because I'm gonna actually give my sister a stick to start off. Because a lot of times, even with her first plant, she potted, planted, didn't have a stick to start off, and it went all willy-nilly on it. It grew this way, and it grew that way. Mm-hmm. And so with these pedestals here, these turn. This part of the Monstera turns. It turns. If you don't realize that, that's why you have these bumps on the end. They are nodes, but they turn. These leaves actually will start turning. And they turn towards the sun. They turn towards the light. They turn towards that, trying to find it. And so we get all this area root here. Now this is the misnomer. The area that you need these, you do not.
Do not.
You can clip these, or you can put them in it. The only thing, this is kind of like an umbilical cord. Mm. That's how you look at it for us moms. When you have a kid, and that's what they use to feed off of, and then when they separate, they cut the umbilical cord. Well, this is where some of the protein and nutrients come in for the plant, and so it's not going to harm it. If you cut it, it's going to regrow. It's going to push out. It actually helps if you have them, and you just like, I want to keep them because they do provide extra nutrients for the plants. Stick them right back in the soil.
Yeah.
Try to get them back in the soil, and stick them right back in some soil. But what they remind me of. You remember that show called The Predator? And he had all them area roots. they call them dreadlocks or whatever. But that predator was Arnold Schwarzenegger was being chased by the predator. What's that? Him or Sylvester Stallone? And he's being chased and he had them on with dreadlocks. When I see Ariel Rose go crazy like that, that's the first thing I think about is that movie Predator. I do, because it just be like so wild and y'all all over the place. So, yeah, this is the area roots, the roots. So this is one we gonna replant. As you see, she's had it in water. I don't know how long. How long has this been in water? You know? It's been in there for months. 3 months. What was it? It was straight out, just a cutting.
Yep.
Have you put any nutrients in the water?
Yeah, tea.
Oh, that tea. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why the roots are just like gone whole compared to some of these others.
I love that tea.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother story. And then other Pothos we have. Look at the roots. Great. I got a couple of snips I might have to do on that one. A couple of little smaller Pothos growing in.
All together. And
we're gonna put them in one pot. I wish I would have brought a moss pole so she can experience what it's like to grow one on a moss pole. For Pothos, they grow humongous on a moss pole. But that being said, this is our platter today. And this is what we got working with today. And we're going to try to do this in the time allowed. At least a couple of them, if not all of them, to give you an idea. So why I get prepared for the soil, I'm going to let Nicole talk a little bit. Oh, yeah. Let's show them what we were talking about. So then we showed you all the good. We showed you all the beautiful plants and all the propagating and the roots looking all beautiful. And then she brings me this one. And it's not bad. It's just not great. So this one you see what it like. So with this one, what is this? So
that's
because mush. And straight off the handle, it's got a node here, a node there, a node there. Because I like to salvage things, I'm going to try to cut it right at this node and stick it in some different water. Let's see if we can allow it to push out. Okay. It might be a success story. Let's hope. Okay? You take a picture now, and in a couple of months, we'll tell you, did we say, burn, 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 like whatever we do for funerals, or did we actually pop out another plant? And so we're going to call her Miracle in hopes that we get a miracle. So next time y'all see us online and we talk about miracle made and miracle this and look at miracle with these leaves, you know what plant we're talking about. Okay, so that's that one. But these also, see some of this black. Yeah, we got a lot of black going on here. Some of this mush. And this, I think
these are 3 different clippings, but they all together.
Yeah, so some of this black smells really bad. I don't know how much of this we're gonna salvage. But
so we're gonna rinse that real good first.
You can rinse it. Plants are resilient. You can pull them. Yeah. People always think, oh, they're so gentle. You gotta be gentle with them. They ain't gentle with us. Why don't we gentle with them? I ain't no babies. She and her, these are twins. They don't want to separate.
Put them together. We can put them together.
Yeah, but I still want to separate because I want to smell. Put them together like this. It might be 2 or 1.
Well, the difference is I think this is the one Maria gave me.
Here we go.
That was from her water, and this one's mine, and then they ended up
together. Okay, so we separate that, but this thing here has got a lot of trimming and cutting in. Maybe even throwing.
Oh, that's 2 clippings too.
Yeah. So there is some good, and then there's some bad. And we're going to show you all. But that's what we're going to work with right now. I'm going to have her go rinse some of these. So I do want to get some of these. Rinse them. Get some towel. Pour that out.
Is this one ready though? Oh, we deciding on this.
We're deciding on that.
Okay.
Well, no, we was deciding on this one. This one's ready.
Okay.
This one's ready.
Okay.
Then and pour that out. And then I'll mix it. Okay. We did bring some sticks for the monsteras. And while she's working on that, we're gonna talk about soil. Making soil. Soil. This is fun. Now, as a kid, I used to play in the dirt. Little did I know that it was gonna be turned into this. Like, I was a tomboy, so I played in the dirt naturally. But I love playing in the dirt. I love the smell of it. I love the smell of soil. I love the smell of all the mixture. Everything but the chemical stuff. There's a lot of chemicals out there that people use. And I'll be watching a lot of videos and the plants be gorgeous. But if you look at a lot of stuff, it's a lot of chemicals they use. And it works, but it's expensive. And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the plants that we have is naturally grown. It's not over chemicals. It's usually like just the perlites and stuff like that. We don't use a lot of chemicals for bugs, fertilizer, things like that, because it's expensive. It's expensive to buy all that. Prop drops, what's the mosquito bits. And I watch this girl, she got all these things and her plants are gorgeous. But I mean, I bet you she got a monthly budget just for her plants and the stuff she needs. I can't afford that. I just can't. So that's what makes this show real, right? It makes it real because it's for those people who love plants, who have plants, and yes, they grow and they will grow beautiful and they would thrive in your home. But I don't have a 10-foot ceiling. So for me to sit there and want somebody who had a plant in California with a 10-foot ceiling, that's not me. So, okay, let's talk about soil. So she did buy some pots, some little pots. They all do have holes in them. They're plastic pots. They got holes. They got drainage. I don't know what she's going to use for the bottom to catch water. And she doesn't have any strain. But one of the things that I do know and I did bring is my rocks. So you can add a couple of petals or rocks at the bottom of your pots when you're repotting one, so that when you're repotting, it helps reduce the cause of root rot, because it allows the roots not only go through the soil but goes through the rocks and allows drainage. So, huh? What? Oh, I wonder how you feel on the inside. But yeah, so that's what you can use, some rocks and petals, stuff like that. You can also use sand. Sand is good that you can put at the bottom of your pot before putting the actual soil on top. Pedestals. You can use pebbles. I can't think of the name of it right quick, but the pebbles. Lacquer. Thank you. You can use lacquer. You can use lacquer in your water to grow. Which is a practice I'm about to start doing. Yeah, you can use lacquer too. I use lacquer actually in the mixture of my soil to irrigate it. So I would add some lacquer into my soil. Just some of the stones, if I sometimes help it chunky, make it chunky, especially for some of these plants that I have. Okay. Right. So far, any questions, any comments, please post it up there. We're going to try to answer anything that we have. I'm going to take a look. Yeah, we'll go over and look at it. I just want to involve the crowd because this is a discussion. Like, we ain't the only ones going through this, right? We ain't the only ones planting. I'm sure, because this is springtime, and because it's springtime, we're repotting our plants, because this is the season.
Yep. Plus Mother's Day is coming up. We're going to sell some real plants. We're going to sell some artificial flowers as well.
Okay. So let's talk about our mixture. I can't lift. Okay, can we lift this? Let's lift this. Okay. Yep. Put it on this side. This is a while we take. Okay. Bring it in some more. Let me show. Okay. So, say what you want about Miracle-Gro. That's your opinion. Miracle-Gro has worked. Yep. And I'm not gonna knock it. There's other products out there. My sister can't lift the one I got. This is called So Green. Or what's it called right there?
So Green.
Stay Green. STAGREEN. I actually saw this at Diane's house and seen they had the fertilizer. And when I saw that store, I was like, I'm getting it. But you can use, that's a different brand. Stay Green. Milk will work fine, whatever you choose to work with. But I have some peat moss. I have some perlite. She had brought me some peat moss or two. And then I have what is charcoal. And so a lot of people are like, what's with this charcoal? Why do you use straight up? It's straight charcoal. It's called horticulture charcoal. And it's natural. It's underneath the ground. It's natural to us all. It's natural, it's underneath the ground, so the plants are interacting with it. A lot of people do use it for a variety of types of plants. It's a useful to terrariums, gardens, and potted plants, right? So this is recommended. It's a natural soil conditioner, and it doesn't harm your plants. It biodegrades, it's fine. It helps when you have pots with no holes at the bottom. And so if you don't have holes at the bottom of your pot, you can put this at the very bottom to start. It absorbs a lot of the moistures and keeps the soil from drying out. But the main purpose of charcoal is it absorbs the moisture. So we did learn diamonds is what? It comes from charcoal. But so what happens is it takes the moisture out of it, and then they knock it and rock and then you let it sit, and it becomes a diamond. Well, this is the same thing. It's reducing the moisture. It's removing the moisture. So this is good for plants. It says it's excellent porosity, allows absorption, retention, and slow release of water and fertilizer, increasing the nutrients holding capacity for potting soils, just what your plant needs. So it's charcoal. It has carbon, and just most plants require the carbon.
Diane,
And, you know, that's what charcoal is. What?
Diane is on it.
Hey, Di. So, yeah, so that's some of the things we use. And then we have, what's the other one you gave me? The
Right
chunky.
there. The pumpkins,
The cactus.
and cactus.
Yeah, and then I got the potting mix for the cactus soil. And the cactus palm and cactus soil, I use it for the chunkiness. It has a lot of like sticks and wood chips and mulch type. You can, listen, let me explain something. Come on, put that there. You can go and get that big old bag of natural mulch, $2.99, $3.99. Instead of going buying mulch or chunky soil mix, which these like $6 and $7 for this little bag. And if you got a lot of potting to do this spring, go get some mulch from Home Depot. Go get that natural wood mulch, not the stuff, not the rubber, not the chemical treated, dye colored. I understand people like to decorate. Don't get no purple and no red and no green mulch and put it in your plants. But get that natural wood mulch. $2.99, $3.99, you get a huge bag, gallons, and I mean, just it's a very large size bag. I can't tell you the weight of it, but I can't lift it. I need my husband to lift it. And so get that, and then use that throughout the year. Get you a container. Most people get them a container and they make their soil. Get you a couple of these containers to store your products in. Make your soil up. So that's how when you got to plant. And see, people think that they only can plant outdoors when it's springtime. No, you got an area in your house that's warm, a room. Get you one of these little mats. You have your mixture already made up. Scoop, 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 and you're good to go. Agree? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little concoction here, and so to show you that we really don't need a lot of soil in our plants as much as people think we do. A lot of dirt. We're making our own soil, but a lot of dirt. And what I mean by dirt is the potting mix that we're gonna use. We don't need a whole lot of it in comparison to the chunkiness, especially when you're dealing with pothos. So pothos are resilient plants, and they can almost live in any kind of potting mix. You can just put them in. But one thing I find out is that you get stuff like the spotting when you have them in too much dirt ratio to the irrigation of perlite and things of that sort. So you really want to be mindful that pothos although they are resilient and you can put them in a dark corner and whatever, you know, you really want these plants to thrive. You really want these plants are beautiful, long lasting, I mean gorgeous. They will grow big leaves for you. And the thing about pothos is, so you know how we have kids. And we have kids, we raise them so they can get a job to be on their own. And when they're in the house, what do we tell them? Y'all gotta get a job, you gotta do something. Pothos has a job at your house. Out of all the plants, yes, some of them do because of oxygen and they kick out carbon and the whole recycle, the filters, right? The air, things like that. They do. Pothos has a second job. Pothos' second job is when you water pothos and the drainage from pothos, it's a type of stimulant. It's a type of fertilizer. You can actually use the water once you water your pothos and pour it in almost any of your plants, especially when you talk about a mother's tongue snake plant, a lily plant, a corn plant. Those plants, you could take that especially a mother's tongue, a snake plant, and pour that water right into recycling, but you pour that same water that's left over from the drainage and pour it into your other plant. And it will stimulate those roots and help it grow. Pothos is the only plant that I know of that can integrate with a lot of plants. That's why when you go to the funeral homes and places like that, you'll see lilies with pothos and these, you know, you see a variety of.
The same way too. They're fat because they're fast-growing plants. It will help when you have it in with your snake plant to help it grow faster.
I've never tried that. I've never tried that. So I mean, that's something you know that I'm be aware of. And I got a death biaki at home, and I need to talk to that. My plant is dying. That's a whole nother story.
The death biaki doctor.
She's the doc of the death.
The death doctor.
The death doctor. You remember Dr. Detroit? Doctor? Okay, I'm not gonna get ridiculous. Okay, so let's get with this soil. So I generally, let me see this big old container. This is what, 16 ounce? Mm-hmm. This is an 8 ounce. So let me
these are 6 ounces.
6 ounces?
Yeah. Don't have to say it on the cups.
This is close to a 10 ounce. I think this is close to a 10, 12 ounce right here. I'm also doing a 16 ounce because it's not the size of the bottle. But this is 10 ounce. So what I generally like to do is I'll do for Pothos. So this is 10 ounces. So I do. Is that half? That's half. So that's about 12 ounces in this container. This is just an example. So I do 1 part perlite. This is the charcoal. I'm going to use the smaller container. So it's 1.5 parts of perlite to 1 part charcoal. I don't use a lot of charcoal. Just 1 part charcoal. I'm sorry.
6 ounces of charcoal.
This is 10.
That's
this
12
is 6.
ounces.
But depending on how much soil you need, just remember 1.5, 1. Mm-hmm. So for every 1, you're gonna do 1.5 for sure. Perlite, right? And because I'm only doing less perlite, the only reason I'm doing less perlite is because your potting mix, they always a lot of times have perlite already added in. So unless you get straight like dirt or something, we're just adding additional. As a matter of fact, this has perlite in it.
This is the cactus,
cactus
and
mix.
citrus potting mix.
So I'm using the same portion, 1.5 of the chunky. And this is not as chunky as I would like it. And this has perlite already in it. So, you know, I'm already doing that. And then, where's my peat moss? Okay, so since we're using peat moss for the pothos, I'm going to use very light potting mix. Because peat moss, it is peat moss, but it is actually still a type of soil. It actually is a type of soil. You could just grow plant and peat moss. I got plants where they give, matter of fact, oh, not this one. The other one I got at home.
No, okay. You said they got peat moss.
Is this one that's fully peat moss?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's fully peat moss. Like seriously, that's all it's growing. You'll see it called peat moss soil or something like that. And I love peat moss. I think it's just the most beautiful soil, so light and brown and beautiful and thin and light.
Got a little chunky
So,
to it.
you know, I should have on a mask because it does some residual. But I've been playing in dirt all my life, so so I'm gonna do 2 parts, 2 full parts of this. Okay, and then finally I'm gonna add the actual soil. And I know this is full already, but we're gonna mix it anyway. So it's kind of like you can't really see as much, but you got your charcoal, perlite, your charcoal, your chunky soil, and your peat moss. And then, so there's other There's a vermicular, which is like, I'm gonna put that right over top of that one. You can't see me down here. I'm bending down. Doing this.
And 3 of those.
Oh, 2.5. No, 2.5. And that's solely more so because the container. I mean, it looked like 2.5, but it's actually probably 2. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this.
Knock it over. What?
Close it. Mix this. And then I'm making my soil. This is how you make your own soil. I know a lot of people just take potting mix. I have, some people I know just take potting mix right out, and that's all they use because it does carry all the ingredients for the most part, as long as it has the perlite in it that you need. However, when you're making your own potting mix, you have a little more control of what's in your plant because your plant's being potted in, and the nutrients it's receiving. So, and to me, any potting mix is always going to need an additional, perlite to it. Always, always. It smells delicious. Not to eat, but it smells like
earth.
like you earth. They're like earth, like you playing outside, and it's just beautiful. I love the smell of dirt. Okay, so one of the things I used to tell my sister to do a test, and a soil test will consist of you taking a little of this dirt, once you mix it well, this perlite sits at the bottom. It just drops to the bottom, which that's what's supposed to do for the soil. But once you mix it up well, you could take some of it, put it in some container. It's actually, see the little pebbles in there? That's the fertilizer from the soil. That's slow release fertilizer too, so that's great. So you can actually let this sit, get a couple of drops of water, put a couple of drops of water, and see how it absorbs it. If it sits on top, that means you got too much dirt. It's so heavy, it's not going to absorb. If it goes straight to the bottom, and you can put a hole at the bottom, and it drips out, it means it's too light. It means that once the water goes in it, the roots are not going to be able to absorb anything because the water was straight out, drained right out. But if it goes in, and you notice it slowly sits on there, and it goes down, that means the soil is absorbing the water, it's integrating, it's doing what it's supposed to do, and you can guarantee your roots will be able to benefit from that. Are you trying to read the comments or is this people?
Yeah, I was trying to see if it was not really.
Okay, so that's what I call a soil test. That's why I have done that in the past just to make sure. Okay.
All right, we start.
Okay, so we start. See, that's why I said I need a mess. I opened some up already. So I'm gonna let Nicole do her own, but before she, I'm gonna do my alcohol on my snips.
Y'all, these are the plastic ones from Dollar Tree, and they do have holes in them, so I bought pots to put up under them.
And then I use the same alcohol, kind of clean mine. And those are straight, so I still use the alcohol. I use 70% alcohol to clear my shears, just in case I clip some that may have had a fungi or bacteria on the shear. So I do use alcohol. You can use peroxide.
Sure.
Alcohol is best, but if you're gonna use it, do 70%.
Okay, this is for the teppanyaki.
Okay, I need a paper towel. Move that thing right, this stand right quick. Move it back over, move that. Go ahead, you can start.
Okay.
I gotta make
under the DivineCre8tions.
No, that one we just said we was gonna wait.
Yeah.
And now I got that on the page.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna ask her. So Di, this is DivineCre8tions. Look at this. I've never seen a DivineCre8tions like this, but it is. I looked it up. Look at that root. She's talking about replanting that one. Don't you think it needs some more root? It only has a primary root. Let me know.
What about these? That needs to be cut off. And this one is a marble. So I was
too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is what I was doing. I think them two gonna go together. They look like this. This is what I was looking for, actually. And what about this? See that?
Yeah, that's not gonna harm it. You can cut that see, but it's got a
root
snap.
to it,
Yeah,
so
it's not gonna harm.
Just okay.
It's not rotted. It's just blackened from the soil, but it's not gonna. Because it's
So
got to
we'll
know
put
I'm not.
that one and this one together. Is that not? It's not too big.
It's definitely not too big. Let me see the roots. So the thing is, you want to make sure that the root ball is definitely small enough to the pot soil. So if you ever had a situation where the root ball was this big and you sit on top, if it sits on top, the pot is too small. That root ball, even though the roots are long,
Right.
it's fine. It's still sitting there. We're just propagating it. And then we're doing similar to what they did to me. They're starting it off, and then when it goes to its next home,
Yeah, it'll be ready.
then hopefully they'll repot it after some period of time.
Yeah.
And my girl would say, shimmy, shimmy, level that soil. Let me see Diane responded. I will let it sit in water for a root. Okay, thanks. Hey, Sean. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that's what I thought, Di. Because that little stuff was just like,
So this still have roots. Should we just pin it into the dirt?
Oh, this root is in here, so this is actually not deep
It's
enough.
not deep enough. Or should I remove? No, because I needed that dirt. Okay.
Yeah, give me a deeper pot.
Here.
Right.
Looks are deceiving, you guys.
I'm worried about this being too big. Ain't got nothing deep, but small. You're gonna have to put more pots in this one. You see, I know you're not trying to because of people, but
I got stuff over here. That's a little too big too. That's just as big as that.
this is actually, the roots are sitting on top.
Right.
There's a couple little roots that's sitting on top. You can like snip it and put it in his own pot. Without, snip it and put it in his own pot. But
Or we can add that with another pot and put it in here, another piece.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. You're trying to, but that's even more price for that one.
Yeah.
And these are marble, so here's another marble piece.
Okay.
Yes, start your soil off. So one of the things she got holes at the bottom, the soil won't come out. So that's one reason why you want to shake it. See how there's less soil coming out now? Just kind of shake it when you first start it off, right? And then you continue. Right? Because you keep adding soil, and then you put pot in it, and then once you shimmy it, a lot of the soil come out. You want to get that in there. Get that resolved before you put your plant in there. And a lot of people be like, your plant has to be right in the middle, and not necessarily. People put the plant in the middle for stabilization. That's why it's in the middle. But if you got more than one piece, you can put them around the sides, the perimeter. It's gonna find its way. They might integrate, but you don't have to all jump them up in the middle because that's what most plants look like. No, Plants don't grow from the middle. You can put your, one in the middle, one on the corner or ends, and it'll still be fine.
Mm-hmm. And you need to plug it up. It's getting low. All right.
I just sorry. Y'all see that?
So by tomorrow, this is going to perk up so pretty.
Oops. Oops. Oh, earthquakes! I don't care. Let's do that. You have to look down on it. There we go.
Weird looking, but okay.
Yeah, it's not the prettiest thing, and it's not necessarily has to be. Make sure it's level. Yeah. And then what do you do after you do that?
You gotta water it.
Yeah, you gotta add some water. My biggest problem, I'll do this, put it to the side, and then I'll be like, let me add no water.
We're just gonna put it to the side, and then we're gonna add. Because for time's sake, we're gonna keep going.
No, but that's, I mean, you don't do water right after the other. You kind of wait, but.
Okay.
And then I was asking, what do you do with the base of these? You water them, but you got something?
Yeah, I got these. That's why.
Oh, so they going into.
Yeah. So they're gonna be decorative pots. They're gonna go in here, and then that way, also when you water it, the water drain into this without the hose.
Okay, so you don't want to add enough piece to that. You think you do without them?
What you mean? Another piece to this?
No, I was just asking.
No, because that means I'm gonna have to charge more for it, and then I'm gonna have less plants to sell. So you think we should add another piece?
No.
Your opinion.
I mean,
If you
no.
saw this sitting on the shelf, would you purchase it? She wouldn't purchase it. So
I would, because this leaf is beautiful. Beautiful.
You can tell they're two different families though. Like
They're both marble.
they marble, but these
Okay.
are little leaves, and these are big, dark green, and these are light green. So these are two different ones.
How come that one couldn't push off those? That could be
They
theirs.
couldn't have. They was one was from Laria's house and one was in my house.
Mm,
So
okay. Which one's from your house? The big one?
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so put that one to the side, do the next one.
Okay. Next we're doing. We got this one.
Mm-hmm. Do we need to clip anything? No.
I rinsed it. Everything really came off.
Yeah, because you put stuff in under. You want to make sure it's still not mushy.
Do that one and that one is the ones I wanted to put together.
You could.
And this
You
is
could've
going by
stuck that.
itself. Stick that in there with them.
No, I'm saying you could have did that one with that one, but you got this still. It's perfect. That's a big old piece.
Yeah,
That was
that's
awesome.
one, and that's one.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
oh wait, here's a little one. Can go with that one. And that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, you could have trimmed the root, but go ahead. You doing a big piece?
I'm just trying to see if it'll fit. It'll be really tight.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that one. Looks like you're gonna be using a lot of your big ones.
Yep. Had no choice. They only had two sizes. Can you? The struggle is really low. Let's see if this one will work in there. This one won't work, won't it? Yeah. That's too tight?
Not that it's too tight, it's just, when you let your hand go, it's gonna, and then look at these nodes. This node is not gonna be buried. You wanna bring at least a soil. See, this is the level to where your dirt's supposed to be. So people don't realize these lines are there for a reason. These lines are where your soil is supposed to stop. And people take their soil to the top. Technically, your soil will stop there. And then the bottom, right where the root is, go from there. But your soil should stop there. Shouldn't be all the way technically to the top. I don't know why people do that, but they do. That's what the lines are for. And that's the reason, you know, after it settles and everything, the lines, you want it there because, that's just how it's supposed to be. His instructions. Can't really remember right offhand why. Yeah, see, there you go. Do not stop. Yeah. So that's gonna drop, that's fine. That's gonna thing over to the side. Then you want that one by itself, right?
Mm-hmm. We can put a stick or something in here. What you think?
Mm-hmm. No, it's gonna drop over to the side, right?
You good?
You know how like Pothos lean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Okay, so see, that's really what it was supposed to be. Okay, for the top. I am a stick your finger in the dirt type of chick.
Mm-hmm.
No problems whatsoever. Okay, check that out. Look. Now, please. Quarter scoop more. And yeah, and so you know when people, I notice people like press down their soil to like stabilize the plant. You shouldn't need to do that. Yeah, unless it's a really big plant.
Right.
Like some of the Salvaging we have to like stabilize them, but yeah, so that's gonna be nice because it's dropping, right? So it's one of those plants you put in the kitchen, let hay, really nice. Okay. We'll help her so we can get through these two, and then we're gonna do my beautiful one. Oh shoot. Yeah, put it apart. It's not gonna. Look at this.
And
This is
that's
another
one
one,
by
right?
itself.
So this is another one.
Yeah, that's one by itself.
Yeah, look at all those nodes.
And
This
then
is gorgeous. I
this will
love this.
go together, and this will go by itself. Look, I love this roots. These roots are really thick. And again, it's not gonna fit the smaller ones because the roots are really long, and it's right up in the root is right up in the plant, so. What is that? Is that supposed to be in there?
Just a piece of it.
I didn't know if it was the.
Y'all should be over here with us. No, I may be too much in there for her taste, what I mean.
Yeah, I only do like a quarter of the pot, and then
This rebar is deep. So this is what this looks like as it sits in the dirt. Let's see what that looks like. So it's actually perfect for this pot. This is actually what I consider perfect. This is not gonna last long in this pot.
yeah, that's good though.
It's not. I mean, really. But Pothos don't mind being rebound for the most part. They, you know.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of awkward. Look right here, next to the store. Why is yours crooked all the time? I say that because you be like, so you shimmy, yeah.
That look crazy. I'd have liked that in the dirt a little bit more. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a little bit of support.
Yeah, you can use a bobby pin,
Yeah.
stick it down in there, get it.
Okay, there we go. Oh, she gonna need a bobby pin to stay there.
Yeah, she wanna pop up.
Yeah, she gonna get up.
She wanna be seen. Yeah, she wants to be seen. And then you got so many nodes on this that you want those to bury because you want to produce.
We'll just do that for now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, what? How many more we got to do? What time is it?
This one. You should put this back in the water.
Look, Dad. Look at this one. Just start back raining.
Okay.
We gotta make some
One
more.
more.
This one.
Yep.
And then we have, what is this? This is the monster by itself.
Mm-hmm. I think you should let that.
Yeah, this needs more roots.
Yeah. Put it back in the water.
Which one? What? This.
Either one of them.
Oh, that's her secret. She's sticking her water with other plants.
Yeah.
She's sticking it with the Pothos water. That's what I told y'all.
Yeah, I put a Pothos in every one, and then.
I did bring some ribbon.
I can't.
I did bring some ribbon for, just in case we had a steak one, but that's good. We gotta steak that monster.
Yeah, I would like to stick a couple of them that's in here. I got some little skewers that we can put in there.
Yeah, but that one that you have, I mean, guess you could. I mean, I'm not even. We didn't snip that. What that one we was gonna snip?
I think we already found that.
Oh. Because just because you cleaned it don't mean it didn't have bacteria to it. You'll see it in a couple weeks of it.
I guess.
The leaves start brownish, you'll know. They over the green. Good to the last drop. Really good to the last drop. Watch it. I got this thing, yeah. Sorry, I picked it up without realizing I was poking. I'm dangerous. Okay, I'm gonna go make some more soil.
So also what's gonna happen is these are gonna go into these to, when I sell them, they're gonna sit in these containers for Mother's Day, so they won't just be these little plastic pieces. And these little plastic pieces are really good for, when you're gonna, I like them for the new plants. Like when your plant get older, they no longer can really be in these. You need to put them, they're too big to go into these little plastic things. I don't even know if they make these plastic things that big, but you can cut these just like you do at the, when you go get plants from the, plant store. You go get plants from there, then you just cut the plastic and then you pop the stuff in your ground. It's the same material. Let me take the sticker out of this one. Any updates on the baby shower? Oh, he did? Okay.
So it's one of the
I know.
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, my mixture. There's probably a reason why I like baking too. I Thinking all these chemical compounds and understanding chemistry and elements and what works and what doesn't work together.
We're gonna get a couple of keywords.
I should have some in here.
It's funny because I know like when I cook, I make my seasoning. I don't put like salt on it, you know, like people put seasoning salt on the chicken, and then they'll sprinkle pepper on top of the chicken, and then they'll sprinkle onion powder, and then they'll sprinkle. I put it in a container. I put salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, all in a bowl, mix it up, and then I sprinkle it on top of my meat. Because it just makes sure it's evenly distributed on the meat, you know, versus just like, you got this layer of pepper. Not to say I'm right, I'm not saying I'm right. But as I tell my husband, most of the time I'm not wrong. So, okay, it took 2 seconds just to mix this. Just want to make sure all that perlite is, so isn't that beautiful? Look at that soil. See all that perlite in there? That's irrigation for the plants, for the roots. She's gonna do that. What was I waiting on for her? So I did bring me a pot for my plant. Mickey, what are we waiting on? Where'd she go, Dominique? That girl can run. That girl, you could be on the phone with her. Go ahead, Dominique, laugh. You know it's true. You could be on the phone with her, and she'll get up and walk away, and go take care of 2 or 3 things, and you just are talking, and her husband will get on the phone and be like, "Hey, sis, she done walk away." So that's who she is. That's just who she is. She can't sit still. Okay, so to speed this up, I'm gonna finish up whatever she had to do. I think that was the last one. So she was going to get some steaks for these, but we managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nice size pots for her to sell for her plant. And I'm talking about yours though.
I heard you.
Am I telling you?
And they know. I did that to them yesterday. I was on live, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot. I went upstairs and forgot about them. But they were still there.
My goodness.
They were still there.
Y'all
They
some
love me.
faithful people.
They love me.
Okay, look that.
Look
Look
who-
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah. These roots, beautiful roots. And I'm not gonna unravel them. I'm not gonna change anything. I'm just gonna drop it in the pot. Right? And that and most people will say, you know, you can leave it in there. What's that?
Chanel stem. Can I use that?
I don't know what that is. Oh, that felt.
Yeah.
You got those clamps?
Yeah. I thought you said you wanted to.
Oh, I said I never used them before.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I've never no, the clamps probably is less harmless. Yeah. Also, so cute. I might have to give me some of those. So I'm just gonna add some salt to mine. I'm gonna use it. The only thing I want to do in this one versus that one, even though it's got the perlite and they don't have it in this pot, I am gonna add my lock at the bottom. At the base of this pot, because that's what's going in. It's going to retain moisture, but it's also going to block the holes, but it's also going to allow the root system to maneuver and not sit in any kind of water. And because this plant is mostly perlite, I'm not going to use her mixture. I'm just going to actually use the potting mix with some pea moss. I'm not gonna use no charcoal. I ain't worried about no, not for this plant. Them roots are so healthy and so thick. I'm not concerned about its absorption and nutrients it's getting from the soil, right? So I did one part mixing pot, I did 1 part mixing pot, and the rest is pour some of this out because got too much in here. Peat moss. Put that beauty right down in there. She's here. See, that's still sitting on the top. I guess I put too much dirt at the bottom. Yeah, that's much better. And I'm gonna work on the background while she finishes what she's doing.
So we went ahead and just put skewers in here.
Okay, see.
We put the skewers in here that raise the plant up, and it's gonna start growing up like that. It's gonna love it. The leaves are gonna be huge. Like, I'm addicted to it. I used to always want these plants that just hung all over my house, draped. When my sister showed me about
They
pinning
can't
them up,
see you.
I know they can't see me. You don't need to see me. They can hear me.
When people like to see you.
When my sister showed me about pinning them up into letting them grow in an upward motion, all my plants, y'all can't see them, but I got a huge one over here that's all the way over there. And then I got this huge one that probably need to be clipped. Look, huge. Probably needs to be clipped.
Oh, wow.
And repotted probably. I don't know. But I have a few skewers in there
It's
holding it up. Still too.
It's sticking too small. That's why I brought that black one just in case. But we're gonna use that one for yours now. I think we need that black one for that one. I don't think you have one deep enough for that one, do you?
Over there.
Yeah, but you can't use none of these. These ain't big clean.
They ain't been cleaned. You can exchange one and take one home and clean if you want.
No, I'm good. I got some more of those black ones at the house.
Okay. Yeah, this is probably the biggest they come in these plastic. I haven't seen them.
Oh no, tell them they come huge.
I've never seen them.
Oh no, I got 16 inches. I love those little starter ones. You know, you get your
I
big
love
plants.
starter pots too. I love them.
Okay.
Okay, so we just need to water them, right?
We gotta do the
we gotta
monstera, and then we should be
The
done.
monster.
What time is it?
We gotta do the monster, y'all.
Yeah, we passed that time anyway. Yeah, that plant looks good, don't it, Di?
Which one?
I think she's talking about the one I showed her. It's the one on the roots. Or that one, 'cause I was showing her that one earlier.
It's so beautiful. Just watching her go down in the dirt. Oh, makes me so happy. Now this is what's my third piece that I've.
Okay, so the thing about this is I'm trying to find the back. Here's the back.
This is the back.
This is the back right here. This is the back here. And that's where the stick goes, wherever the back is. And you're basically directing the plant in the direction it should grow. Because her other monstera, when she brought it to me, it was just like all over the place, arms everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with that because you see them. But monsteras are naturally want to go up. You want them to grow up, but you want them to actually, like that one is going up now. See how that's going up? Whereas before, I ain't show y'all that one, but where before she brought them, it was just leaning.
Yeah.
These were just so heavy and leaning. But now she got a stick on it,
Yeah.
and it's growing up
She's nice and strong.
instead of wide.
There we
Yeah,
go.
put that area root right back in there to cause that plant to. Yeah, I think we're gonna be all right. Maybe, yeah.
That's that.
You good? That's your perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, right on the line. I like to do this. Some people shimmy. I do both.
That
Stabilize it.
impacts it.
Yeah, but I just make sure it's. That keeps you from having to push down on the stove and do like that too. Okay, this one is nice. It's got this little
Let me
stick.
put another clamp on there. Does it just look like it should have another clamp?
Okay, but no, you can't clamp it on the leaf.
On
You should this is the better stuff. If you clap it on this leaf, then it doesn't allow it to turn. Well, those are wide, so that shouldn't be
yeah,
bad.
it's not gonna be tight.
Okay, yeah, but you should never, so, because this part turns. And when you restrict it and tie it, it doesn't allow it to turn, right? And you want it to be able to turn and find its way.
Yeah.
So,
You kinda gotta tell them where to go to. You can try.
yeah, but you don't want it to be restricted.
Right.
But these have these, show me one of the clamps, give me one. I'm gonna show you, these are nice, I'm gonna probably get some of these. I like the way they look. I know, but see, they open wide, so when you open them, so the leaf has room, right? It's not like the tape. See, we was to use the tape, which I use the tape. It will restrict it, right? Because I'm doing this. I'm taping it directly to each other. But you don't want to tape the leaf, the arm of it. You don't. The pedestal of it. You want to because that restrict it from moving.
Mm-hmm.
And plants need to be able to be moved.
Mm-hmm.
Natural, that's what they do. Today I had my ceiling
Y'all
fan
gonna
on.
have to do everything possible to make myself
Give this
sell
one
this
away.
plant. I've given her every time I've clipped my monstera, I've given it away except for one time. So I gave her a piece of monstera, and I gave my daughter Laria a piece of monstera, and then I did another piece which is in my living room, which I'm thinking to sell that one.
Okay, so that we're gonna water these plants. I like these little skews. This is a great idea. Just to kind of, they look just more pleasant. What's wrong with that one? That was gorgeous.
I know, I don't want to sell any of them.
Yeah, this is nice. This soil is horrible, but
She needs to be probably, no, she don't need to be repotted. She
I mean,
needs
it's
to-
loose. The soil is loose, so it's not
Mhm.
impact. It's not dirty. It's just all this yellow pea like.
It's old.
It's from that tea. Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the tea.
It's
Yeah.
the tea.
You're right, it's the tea.
So another thing is, Diane, I'm gonna start putting some eggshells in my soil for my monstera. I see someone talk about the protein, and I'm gonna try it on my monstera, see if I can get it to grow. The leaves are fine, they're just not monstrous the way I want them to be. So, okay, so we thank you guys for bearing in with us with these plants. We're gonna water these plants, clean up this mess. See, this is how you get back at somebody. I'm gonna call my husband and leave her with this mess. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that, but she got free labor on me today. But
Well, it was fun.
yeah, but we're gonna water these plants, and then she's gonna take her plant, I'm gonna take mine, I'm gonna take my stuff. I'm gonna take my mix, and give her with a bag of soil. And we thank y'all for joining us this Sunday. We apologize for the previous Sundays that we were not able to participate or have this conversation and communicate. That much like you, we all have lives, we all have things going on. We will do better. And next week, we probably won't be at each other's home. We might be at the opposite home. But I do want to get back to, now that it's springtime, I want to talk about gardening. So next week, I think we're ready to go outside.
Yeah.
And start showing some gardening tips, right? And so we're gonna touch on some gardening tips for those gardeners. I know a lot of stores right now, plants, they have indoor, outdoor plants, but they have perennials and annuals and those plants that you put out in your garden. But we're also talking about gardening as far as vegetables, fruits, and things like that. But eventually, I'm gonna get her into it. She's gonna love it.
Yeah, I got the perfect backyard for fruits and vegetables.
So
I just have a lot of rabbits that may eat them.
there's deterrent that you can get, things you should put out there. Red pepper flakes, cinnamon, just mothballs, things like that you put out there to keep them from getting into your vegetables.
Okay.
But we're gonna start to talk about outside. We're gonna be outside next week. Hopefully it won't be so dreary and rainy. And I'm gonna show you my new
Give me put some.
standing pot.
I'm
And
getting some of these.
my sister-in-law bought me. Ooh,
How many
thank
you need?
3 is fine.
Okay.
And y'all ladies have a blessed day, blessed Sunday. Before we leave, let's have prayer.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, Lord God, first of all, we come to you with thanksgiving in our heart, Lord God. Thank you for everything that you're doing, everything that you're going to do, Lord God, everything you will not do. We thank you because you know what is best for us, Lord God, and we thank you for this time of putting our hands to the plow, to the dirt, Lord God, teaching us techniques on how you have created your plants and how to care for what you have created, Lord God, and to just have some camaraderie with us, Lord. People that have that same like mind, the same desires, and make this even more fun. So we thank you, first of all, for my sister Yolanda, who is the educator of all of this, and I am just the face. And
Oh my goodness.
and I thank her for being so patient with me, teaching me, and as we are all learning together, let's get our divine plant life on in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I am really leaving her with this mess now. Blessed day. Talk to you later, Doc. Brian said y'all crushed it.
She said we crushed it.
Mhm.
Aw. Bye, y'all.
Oh, I forgot about yours.